welcome to Golden Age Shooting. Today we are giving first impression and a review of Morini Ticino. To start off, really beautiful color. It comes in two colors, red and blue. This blue somehow strikes really well. This is the Gixxer or the Hayabusa blue biking. So this is fantastic blue. It is very attractive. So if you pull out, you will see immediately you will feel okay. This is a 200 CI, right? EI 200 CM200 EI look-alike, yes, and they call this a Ticino, and this is very nice gun out of the box. Grip is, yes, of course, Morini trademark. Looks very clean and neat. Requires some modification, which we'll get to right from the factory. That is sad. And overall fit and finish is fantastic. What we will do is straight away we'll look at the weight of the gun. Okay, 0 on the scale. 950 grams. Yes, this is definitely lighter, and we will see further about other features. So 950 grams, if that's the first question you had on your mind. Brilliant. So let's get deep into various other points. We are getting, see, this is the test they have done, and this test they have done in 4.49 pellet size. Okay, and I think 3 shots grouping is what they have tested. This is kind of the warranty certificate for us, but no use. So this is a card which they are telling they have the brand new app for shooting training using their in-house app, which you have to download, and this app is freely available right now in Apple Store and Play Store. Okay, so people can explore this. Then comes the, of course, shooter's manual, which is a holy book. So a lot of clean things here. If you see, the Ticinos now come in multiple colors. So these two, okay, are the main options in Ticino, and then you have the details, technical details, which you can definitely go through. One point you have to remember is, if the cylinders start looking like this, please do not use them. Along with that, we have a spare cylinder and the toolbox, and we have the adapter which comes standard. Then there is barrel weights, 2 of them. Then the cylinder air pressure remover tool. Okay, that's inside. Let that be in. Then your standard toolbox. It has tools plus the training cable, which we'll get to in a short period of time. Now Morini has come with the compensator, and if you see, holes on the top of the barrel, basically to diffuse the air out when you take a shot, and that reduces the recoil. You will not feel the same level of punch you would feel with a 162 EI on this gun. This is the polygonal barrel as compared to rifled barrel. Okay, so this is supposed to give higher velocity at the same values of air pressure, and definitely looks different. If you see, the edges is slightly different, or to a trained eye it's clearly very different, and the accuracy also claimed is better than previously. So for rifled barrels, you will see a great difference, and versus polygonal barrels is supposed to be more accurate and higher velocity. So let's see. So as I showed earlier, so this is how the polygonal rifling and the regular rifling is. So if you see these two difference, and this is how the Ticino is, very close to this. Okay, there are grooves but not as sharp edges as this. So that's the big difference in the Ticino. The regulator on this gun is the same as they've used in the past, and it is a proven regulator with very less damages, but of late we are seeing some amount of repairs and maintenance happening in this regulator as compared to the ones in the 10 years earlier batch. But these are all solvable problems at a certain cost, yes, but this is definitely tested and proven, and slightly easier to maintain over stair regulator. If you see right up to this portion, the trigger unit, right, looks absolutely same and very familiar with all the old models. Okay, hardly any changes here because this is time, and again this is proven and tested model, so they did not change it. So what the circuit they've done to incorporate the Bluetooth and probably to address the repair issues that were happening in past, now they have a completely sealed circuit, right? So the earlier circuits are open circuit, and they could have been repaired in India, and they are being repaired in India at a very nominal cost, and a good job is happening. But these circuits are absolutely unrepairable in India. If there is some damage to these circuits, you cannot repair them. So kindly take good care of them. And they come in 3 different parts. One wire, trigger unit connection wire, then comes the main circuit, and then comes the switch and the battery. And battery for this, we use CR2 batteries. These are not common batteries, and these are not cheap. Sometimes people sell it at about 900 rupees. Ideally about 450 to 500 rupees should be a decent price for this. So remember, they work on CR2 batteries, and these are not rechargeable. You have to replace them, and yep, slightly more expensive on this front. Now coming to a very important design flaw that was there in all the previous models up to 200 EI, which was the bolt, and the present bolt of titanium and 162 are really terrible. I really hate them, but because of the housing damage it's sustaining every time you're pulling. To address that, what Morini has done now is gone to the more very sound approach, drawing ideas probably from Walther, looks like. Okay, this is very fair for me. The moment I look at it, it looks very Waltherish, except the second bolt on the other side. So now when you pull this up, okay, there's a secondary lever at the back which pulls the pin back, okay, to load. Okay, because of which the load is not falling on the housing, but the bolt itself is carrying it all the way back. And this is not a metal barrel anymore. Okay, this is a carbon fiber part. And because of this, the longevity of the bolt and the housing is improved drastically. And off factory, right off factory, you can see slight amount of grease applied there. Okay, so that means yes, slight amount of greasing will always be there. You just have to take care. And because of this greasing, there's a very high possibility that dust can accumulate. So if dust accumulates there, it's your responsibility to clean it and re-grease it on a regular basis for maintenance. When I say regular, monthly once or even couple of months, once in couple of months is more than enough. Now coming to the rear side part, which we have continuously faced some problems, people sometimes trying to pull it out too much and out of tolerances and it popping out. A lot of issues happened in the past. To address that, now see they have given a clear indication there, and double screws are there unlike the earlier ones. Okay, and this portion, this metal portion, now it's separated from housing, unlike earlier titanium models. You see there is another steel groove there. Sometimes this pops out, and while inserting it can damage. It is fine thread. So to prevent the whole housing from being damaged, they've given another steel piece in between the screw and the housing, which is a good thing to notice. Unlike the earlier cylinders, here we are seeing a cylinder with a small notch at the back, okay, and here also. The reason for these notches is quite simple. If the O-rings fail, okay, if the O-rings fail, you want to see the air coming out from here. Okay, if you see air coming out from here, that means the O-rings that are holding the air, instead of coming out from here, okay, the quickest release is here, and it's easy to ascertain. Otherwise you would be confused in terms of what are the things that are going wrong. So again, dipping in water becomes a challenge because there is electronic in the front. Okay, so this is a good improvement, and this prevents cylinder blasts. Trust me, this prevents cylinder blasts. But again, remember, never overfill cylinders than prescribed norms. Let us come back to the very hot topic, which is the grip. Okay, now is this grip from 2025 model? It is still very new. Is it compliant to new ISSF rule? Definitely not. Why not? If you see here, it is going past the 5, it is on the 5 centimeter mark right now. So that means how much will I have to cut? 1 centimeter inwards. So how to mark it? I'll show you. You can use a scale or a vernier caliper. Okay, and 45-degree angle. That's approximation. And then join these two. So what will get cut off, if you see, is this portion. So this triangle, you're seeing this triangle? This triangle has to be removed. Now because there's no screw here, we will not have a problem in cutting this off, and it will not impact the quality of shooting. This I can assure after seeing multiple shooters after this alteration we have done. It is not impacting the scores. In fact, it is freeing up a certain amount of pressure on the back, and surprisingly it is helping shooters shoot better. So not all rules are bad at times. So just ensure that when you are cutting here, my line that I drew is slightly angled downwards, but it has to be straight. It can't be angled. So that also you need to take care. While fixing the gun, remember grip, removing and putting the grip back, ensure that this comes out clean from this passage, and the rod which holds the screw, single screw, unlike the earlier 2 screws, and the screw goes from inside the grip. So remember that is sitting in, and the grip goes in fully. Once the grip goes in fully, now this is where you start tightening the screw. Till then, please don't start tightening the screw. You might damage the whole gun. And then it is only 2-finger pressure. Don't over tighten the screw. Don't put a lot of pressure there. That's it. The grip will sit tight. Okay. This is a very easy clip-on circuit. Ensure that you are not damaging them. Once you clip on to remove, you will see a small notch there. You'll have to take something and just give a small gentle pressure on that and pull it. Don't try to yank it out. You will damage the circuit. Okay. Next, interestingly, they've given a screw to hold the circuit down. Okay, it's a silver color screw. Just ensure you're putting it down and fixing that as well. Now the circuit is not moving anywhere. Why is this important? Is because they are using the new Bluetooth feature. Now if your circuit is shaking inside, then the reading will go awfully wrong. So you want your circuit to be very solid. That is the reason that screw is there. If your reading is off, just check if the screw is loose. Insert the battery in the right direction, positive to the right. Solid press. Now check it once before fixing it. Yes, the trigger is responding very well. The nice crisp trigger of Morini, which is not available in any other gun. Now once this is safely in place, all we have to do is fix our, sorry, this has gone the other way. Yeah, perfect. Now press the cushion down, insert the screws, and use the provided Allen key to slightly tighten the The gun is ready. You want to just push the wire out of place, very slight pressure. Okay. Since 200 EI, a little later, Morini has come up with something we call as training cable. Okay, they call it as training cable. That training cable is inserted here. Okay, before inserting, ensure the gun is off and gun is unloaded. Then you insert the cable here, and then you turn the switch. So what happens is, when you do this, sometimes the gun fires and sometimes the gun doesn't fire, and it is very random. Okay, so while training, it so happens that you are ready to shoot and you take a shot and you find a nice jerk. That time the gun might not fire, so it will show your weaknesses. So yes, this is beneficial if you are going to use it, but remember, it has to be used in a proper way, and while keeping the gun down, please don't damage this cable. Here front sight is a 5 mm, front sight is 5 mm, thicker than the other 4.5 mm out there, which is good. And of course, Morini's rear sights, there is a limited feature in terms you can only go wide, you cannot go in the depth, you cannot adjust, it's only the width that you can always work with, and there is very limited movement in the screws, so kindly be careful when you are using them. Good thing now, hardly anything to rust. Earlier the rusting points used to be the bolt and the barrel. Now because of this carbon fiber elements, that is eliminated, so rusting is out of question unless you dip it in water maybe. And trigger is very good. The fit and finish of the pistol is really nice. This is a small grip, this is slightly small for me, but generally if you notice, Morini small grips are good enough for even people with medium hand with slight modification, but this is definitely small for me. And for me, my hands, what I would prefer would be a medium grip. So off factory, what happens is the width is very small, very tiny. I would always prefer keeping them slightly wider than what it comes with the factory. And yes, trigger is the same old Morini trigger from past 25 years. Gun is really nice. The fit and finish, I feel, is very, very nice. The weight is very reasonable, as we checked it, 950 grams. Serial number here. Primary importer Artec in India. So Morini Ticino. Now we will do the velocity test. As they say, factory comes from 140 to 145 velocity. Let's see what our machine is reading here. 150. Okay, first shot. .5. We are hoping that it will be under 5. Okay, under 5 is really, really good. Excellent variations. 150 again. .149.6. That's brilliant. The variation is less than 1.5 right now, or less than 2. Fantastic. Really nice. Very consistent with the velocity. The reason for higher velocity might be the pellets. We are using the Chinese training grade pellets, so that's the reason it could be shooting with a higher velocity than what the company claims. It's quite normal, but the variation is absolutely beautiful. Right, so just 7 shots, just 2 deviation. Absolutely superb. If you like this video, kindly please share, subscribe and hit the like button. And for more such content, please follow us on Golden Age Shooting.